country tomorrow again, everyone. Just harvesting some broccoli after Homestead. So these are the broccolis that I planted about what? Early January, thereabout, or the second week of January, early January I planted these broccoli. And now I have some nice ones. And we have a few more, but those are not quite ready as yet, so we're gonna work with these for now. Alright, whilst harvesting, let me just sit down and give you guys another quick tip or quick opinion on my gardening style. Alright, so these cabbages and lettuce that you're seeing behind me, I also have broccoli and cauliflower that you're seeing behind me. The only fertilizer I've used on them is rabbit manure, only rabbit manure. And so far I am getting some monstrous produce from this homestead. So I won't be going for any more store-bought so-called organic fertilizer. I'll just be using rabbit manure from now on. Before, growing up in the country, we used to use a lot of cow manure or goat manure. However, rabbit and goat manure are similar and they're both a cool fertilizer, so they don't burn. What I do if I want to get a kickstart with the rabbit manure, because it's a slow release, I'll put it in a bucket of water overnight so that it dissolves somewhat, and then I'll just use that and water the plants. And because it doesn't carry that high stinky smell as in a cow or chicken manure, you can use it for indoor plants also. So I also use it for my indoor plants and my wife's plant under the pergola. So rabbit manure for me now is the way to go. I've been using it on the front lawn, and so far this spring the lawn has been looking good after all this cold spell that we have been through in Florida for this past winter. So, and I just said spring. Yeah, people will say that we don't get into spring until the 21st of April. However, the farmer's calendar for this year is saying that our last frost date would have been the 11th of February. Hence, we're going to get an earlier spring. So, we'll work with the farmer's Almanac. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, one more thing, a thing that I see going around on the internet, where homesteaders and backyard farmers like me, planters, are telling people that are proposing what to plant in January, what to plant in February, and all these things. There's a thing called the Farmer's Almanac. If you want to, or you want a reference on when to plant, work with a Farmer's Almanac, not a proper Farmer's Almanac. Work with a Farmer's Almanac, because a lot of people, yes, they're telling you what works for them in their backyard, and they're not taking into consideration on how their backyards are set up, as in which direction their backyard is facing, which side of the house they're planting on, and all these things, how they set up their little homestead. So move to your farmer's almanac. Don't listen to me, don't listen to no one else on social media when it comes to when and where to plant certain things, because it's tricky. It is tricky. Believe me when I tell you that it's tricky, because I have cabbages under a tree in my backyard. However, my backyard is facing west. My neighbors across the road now, with their front yard facing west and their backyard facing east, they're gonna get a different result from me. Maybe not night and day is different result, however, they will get a different result. Just owing to the fact that their house is shading from a different angle from my house, that is shading my plant from a different angle, and trees and all those things that bring shade, because we're not commercial farmers, so we don't have acreage where certain things don't affect us in certain ways, as in a certain tree or positioning of certain things don't affect us. We are small homesteaders, so we have to look at the direction in which the sun rises and set on our homestead also. So that's just a quick tip. I hope it made sense, but I'm going to move on to some more backyard morning chore. Now going with some feed for the cockatiels. So this is what they're going to be getting this morning. No fruits, no vegetables. So this is what is happening with the cockatiels now. Springtime, so we have a few on eggs going through. That's just simply for them, nothing more. I realize that they prefer to use these boxes over those, so I think I'm going to change out a few of those boxes. But there they are. Just a small update on the cockatiel. I'm going to give the floor a bit of raking up because a lot of leaves have been falling inside here, so I think I'm going to do that this morning also. But for water, just simple chicken water and feeds in those containers. That one up there, that one down there. That's basically it for them. So these are the lettuce suckers that I planted the other day, coming on well. And if you realize, rabbit manure still there, but mushy. They just powder out like that now. So those are all the lettuces that I planted. 100% success rate, none died, so that's good. Over here I have some red and yellow bell pepper that are sprouting or growing because they have passed germination stage. One Scotch bonnet pepper right here, but let's see how these bell peppers do. These are bell peppers that I bought in Costco, and I just decided to try the seeds, so I'll let you guys know what they're like. Comfrey is bouncing back from after the coal, but I think I'm going to put it under the tree so that it can spread, because comfrey loves a bit of shade, and I realize they also love to be where you have a lot of roots and all those things. I don't know why, but they spread more whenever you have them in forest-like areas. So I'm just going to put it under the big tree. I have a few old bread here. I'm going to just feed them to the chicks. When you have chicken in your backyard, nothing really goes to waste, you know. These guys are cleaners. Old food from the fridge, old rice, bread, pastry, anything of the sort. You just give it to them and problem solved. Just gonna grab them a little feed. Alright, so this is kind of it for the chickens. So I keep it simple with this water system. For backyard chicken, you have about 10 or 15 hens. You don't need anything more than a water system like this. You don't need to start getting complicated and, you know, all over the place. This is just a simple chicken run. That's the rooster there. I have on a crow collar on him, so we won't get any noise from him. And these are the baby buffer penton, 5 of them, which will be integrating with the remainder in another 2 months or so. But as you see, I weed up the garden and the weed goes to the chicken. Fresh water over there, a little bit of feed and some bread. For the older set of chicken, they have, I don't know the size of the run, but it's a large enough run. And I have a kind of trap gate right there. When they goes inside the coop, I just pull this string around here, this cord. I just pull this cord and let it focus. The door goes down. Pull. The door goes up. Let go. Door goes down. Up. So we don't have to go inside and interact with the chicken just to get them inside the coop at night. So that's fairly it for the chickens. Let's move on over to the conures and rabbit. Okay, for the rabbitry now. I think people complicated, but this sausage tin, I use a sausage can, 1 leveled sausage can with feed. It's good enough for a mature rabbit for the day. If the rabbit is breastfeeding, have kits on it, you can go up to 2 cans a day. However, I give these 1, sometimes 1.5. I realize that when the time is cooler, they tend to eat a bit more, so I'll go up to 1.5 of this. But this is how it is in the mornings. They are hungry and ready to eat, so they're not wasting the food. Go back, buddy. Simple as that, and I have 7 rabbits down already. Just give them some water now. For the watering system, I won't always be using this. I have a nipple system that I'll be putting in. However, I don't want to put that system in until I'm finished with my cage design. So when I'm all done with cages, then I'll put that water system in. I've already bought it. It's in the storeroom, so whenever it's time, maybe I can go along and show you guys how I get it done. But let me bring you guys in a bit closer now and show you guys what's happening. Alright, so here we have this dough, and if you realize, tag them, not the rabbit itself, but on the cage. So this is a Tamok doe 1. She was born on the December 15, 2024. Another doe, same date, but they're not related. And this buck down here, this small guy here, he was born on the 13th of January 2025. There he is. And everything is like that. This is a doe, New Zealand. And this one was born on November 26, 2024. Same thing for this buck over here. And that's a buck, that's a doe. The system is a simple system that I'm using. I got these cages from Bass Equipment. However, I bought these plastic sheeting from Home Depot. Cut them, set them under the cages, and then I have the piping that runs along, and everything goes down into that catch pan down there. So it's a clean, safe and simple system. So these are not metal sheeting. These are not metal sheeting, these are plastic. So they will last a long time because rabbit urine is very corrosive. Here we go again, plastic. Edge of it won't cut you. So I use these. And for the posts, I just go with some 2x2 because they're cheaper, and I just hook them to the cages like that, and that's it. I don't need any stick at the front because right here I just screw in, and I screw in the plastic sheeting on the same 2x2, and it's a simple setup. Very simple for a rabbitry. So this is how I'm doing it. I'm not sure if I'll have any ideas in the future and change anything here, but for now, this is it. Over here the conures, but everyone is in boxes or box because they're all on eggs, so we're not seeing anyone out at this moment. Noise free, so we should be having a lot of baby this spring, maybe about 16 babies, I'm hoping. So just one is out, that one right there, but other than that they're all in. These are some callaloo that I planted yesterday evening. I think a few squashes inside there, but those are just seedling that spill from the bird feed. And I also have a few thyme, because I realize with the rabbit manure everything is just flourishing, so I'll be sticking to this rabbit manure as I said before. But these, I'll show you these in another few days when they get more, sturdy. I'll just show them off to you guys. But planted these yesterday evening. Also some lettuce, and there was a tomato growing here. As I told you guys, I don't plant tomato from seeds anymore, but this one got away. I'm going to watch it, see what it turns out to be. But that's it for these. Yes guys, I spoke about positioning of your garden. That is total. It is of the most importance when you're planting for a small homesteader or backyard gardening, where you're getting most sunlight at certain time of the year. Also, where you can plant things and they survive through certain times of the year. For example, when I plant Scotch bonnet peppers in the back portion of my yard, they can't go through the fall and winter here in Florida. However, if they are on the front, in the front garden where the lawn is, they can go through the entire winter. Tomatoes can't survive in my front yard throughout the summer. However, in my backyard, I have tomatoes right throughout the summer. So we really have to be careful, as I always say, or as I've always said in a couple of my videos, who we're listening to. Because I've been farming, well, I was born on a farm, so I grew up on a farm, and we have been planting crops, doing all these things before a lot of people come about and realize that manure is the way to go instead of synthetic fertilizer and all these things. So nothing started yesterday. These things were what people have been doing ages ago, using manure and organic things on their plants. These plants behind me here, I have two pergola. This is a 12 by 12, and this side is a 11 by 10 pergola that I built. And between both pergolas we have over 1,500 plants under them, and all we have been using is organic fertilizer, as in rabbit manure or chicken manure. However, with the chicken manure, you have to mix it in dirt, spread it out like on a tarp or something, and allow it to breeze out, sun for a few days, maybe a week, and then you can use it in your garden or in your potting soil or anything you want to do. However, I wouldn't advise you to take chicken fertilizer, chicken manure inside for those plants that you have indoors, because it will smell up your indoor ventilation system, as in your AC and all those things will trap that smell, and you don't want inside your homes to be smell like a chicken run. But basically, most of the things that you see we have here in the yard, they're of rabbit manure, and if you can't find rabbit manure, you can find goat manure, sheep manure. They're similar, or deer manure. Anything in that small ruminant true cut space, you can use those manure. Black cow is another one for people who are watching in North America or in the US, because I don't know if black cow is in Canada. However, black cow is another one. But my take on black cow is, or my experience with black cow is, it attracts termite. I don't know if it's the last batch that they have been doing, but for the past maybe a year now, I realized that black cows attract termite. Moreover, if you're trying to store the black cow, at one point I went to Home Depot and I bought maybe about 24 bags of black cow, and I wasn't going to be using all of them at once. However, the plan was to store some, and I had them under my greenhouse, and it was a ton of termite. I have to be spraying down the whole place, and that is not good for the plants, and that is not good for the house itself, my home. So I don't think I'll be touching black cow ever again. I'll get a cheap soil mix or cheap dirt, maybe from one of these lawn places, or so, just the regular dirt, and mix it in with rabbit manure. A lot of people may find rabbit manure difficult because of those grains, and when you buy them from a farmer or a homesteader, a lot of the time those are dry grains and they are very tough, and you think that they won't dissolve easily. However, if you want to use them and you want a speedy, what I would say now, you want a speedy rate of hit, giving nutrient to your plant, or fast release rate of the nutrients from it, you can soak it into water overnight, and people call it rabbit poop tea, some people call it. So you make like a tea for the plant, and you just use that rabbit poop water, and you just feed the plants with it, and it works. For those people with lawns, as in Bermuda grass, fescue, St. Augustine, whichever one of the grass type you may have, you can go rabbit manure or goat manure on it. You don't have to soak it or anything, you can just throw the pebbles out there, because once the rain comes by and everything, it will all dissolve within the land. It's good, it's better than the synthetic, because if you have animals, dog, your pets that are going on the lawn, or your children, for example, me, I have a very active front lawn. Even though it's lush, it's very active because we play soccer on it and we play volleyball on it. So for most parts of the year, when it's not cold down here or very cool in Florida, we're playing on my front lawn. And rabbit manure is what we're throwing it because it doesn't smell. Yeah, maybe it will green up your whites if you put on your whites and go out there, but the grass itself will green it up. So that's just it for it. Rabbit manure is my number one fertilizer right now for backyard homesteading and gardening. If you're a large scale farmer and you're watching this and you're the type of person that want to plant your crop and get them in half the time that they're supposed to mature, well, rabbit manure wouldn't be for you. You have to go for synthetic fertilizer that can give you things in half the time that nature really would allow them to be ready. So that's just another one from Country Morrow. Hope I can put out another video this week because it's like whenever the spirit hits me, I come out with these videos. But I've been out for a week now. I haven't put up any video for over a week now, little over a week, about 9 days now. And I also want to say thanks a whole lot for all the people that have subscribed to the Country Morrow channel. I think I have 28 subscribers now, and I really want to say thank you a lot. Thanks to all those who comment also. And I had one person that asked to show how I go about designing my homestead. I'll do my best to do a walkthrough video from here of what I've done before, and then now on my new build I'll try and do videos on them and show you guys how I build things, because everything on this homestead is just done by me. I don't have a friend that I can call over and say come and hold a piece of board for me. It's either me, my wife, my daughter, or my son. So that's just it. So if you're a small homesteader, continue homesteading along because food prices are getting crazy, and at the end of the day we need to account for some things that are going into our body. Maybe we can't account for everything right now, but we have to start somewhere. So that's it from me, Country Morrow. See you in the next one.